Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know what time it is. It's bumper to bumper, baby. Sorry I'm a little late this morning. Had to drop off the kiddo at school. So you know how that goes sometimes. But hey, I'm going to get it to you. You know how we do it. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way in. Got you covered. Let's go. BirdCage. Welcome to Bumper to Bumper. You know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button on the way in. Now, let's go ahead and talk about it. There's a lot of excitement going on in the ATL right about now with these dirty birds, as we like to call them. Now, the one thing that I've loved has been the defense. I'm a defensive guy. I've been begging for this for years. 4 years since Dan Quinn left. We haven't had a defense. Let's keep this a buck. Now, just to tell you guys the truth, I think the Falcons are going to be a dangerous team coming up when the playoffs hit. Yeah, I'm already willing it. The Falcons are going to go to the playoffs this year. Normally, I don't speak like that, but if the defense continues to keep putting up numbers and playing the way that they are against elite offenses, we got a shot. The offense just has to catch up. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this defense, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at the defense, we've only given up 229 yards within the first two games. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You're holding offenses under 200 yards, NFL offenses. Now, if you held the Bucks and you held the Vikings to under 300 yards, really, within the first 2 weeks, that says a lot about this defense, how they're coming around and what they're doing. You know, we've only given up two touchdowns. And really, the crazy part about it is this. When you look at the rush defense, you know, we give up 89 and a half yards a game, 0 touchdowns. The pass defense, we've given up 3 touchdowns, 3 tutties or whatnot. And then when you look at it, the red zone defense has only given up 14 and a half points and 3 TDs. And then when you look at it, we're number 11 ranked within the red zone defense. 50% rate, that can increase, that can get better. But truthfully, I really don't want teams getting close to the red zone anyway. I'm okay with them not getting to it to us. Then when you also look at it, we are 21st in third down defense, 44%. That can also get a little bit better. There's a lot of things to look at when you talk about this Falcons defense. We've accounted for 7 sacks within 2 weeks. Last year, it took us 8 games to really get sacks. In 2 games, we've already had a very drastic impact when it comes to the pass rush. Our draft picks are paying dividends, and so are our free agents that we've brought in. They're paying dividends. Now, the one thing that we must do is be able to stay healthy and continue to keep rotating, and the depth that we have is going to be critical for the Falcons for the foreseeable future for this season defensively. Now, Jeff Ulbrich is definitely putting us in a position not only just to win ball games, but also to really have respect in Atlanta. It's not going to be sweet like you think. The offense is still figuring it out right now. But while the offense is figuring it out, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to score on this defense. This defense is one of the best in the league, and they're ranked number 2. And ironically, what's funny, the Cleveland Browns are ranked number 1 right now within 2 weeks of defense. That's crazy to think about. The Browns and the Falcons are ranked 1 and 2 within the first 2 weeks of the season. Yes, early, we know things are going to change, but for these 2 teams that have been laughing stocks in the league for years, for the Falcons to be ranked up there in the top 2 during the first 2 weeks, that is a drastic change. So shout out to Coach Brick and Coach Ollie, and also we got to give a shout out to Coach Jerry Gray, because when you put these 3 guys together, you see the cohesiveness with this defense, and you really see that this defense is getting after it. There's no fear. There's more respectability at this point when you see that this defense swarms. You kept a 14-2 team out of the end zone this week that just went by. Now, when you look at it offensively, we've got to get better. I'm going to give you the numbers real quick, and then we're going to talk about it both ways. The offense is number 10 totally in offense, number 20 in pass offense. Of course, they're still trying to get it together. At this point, when you sit back and look at it, we're number 4 in rush offense. We're number 21 in scoring offense, 28 in red zone offense, and also 19 in third down offense. We're averaging 342 yards. We're averaging almost 200 yards a game, period, and a little bit more than 200 yards a game offensively. We're still trying to figure things out with the passing game. I give that to about week 7. Gotta let Penix get the training wheels off, and you also got to look at everything else that's going on with this team. Offensively, we have the weapons. You saw what Kyle Pitts is capable of when he's actually put in situations where he can be used. Now, the question is this: will he sustain that type of play all season? That's my question, because as I said before, you still have to equate, as we said, for a lot of things. You still have to equate for blocking, which he did, and you have to think about it. Is it the paycheck year that he's actually trying to garner right now at this point, and he's going to ball his ass off? And then is he going to fall back into mediocrity? Or is this going to be the step for him to take the leap to be the player that we expect him to be? Only time will tell. But so far, looks good. Now, when we look at the running game, Bijan Robinson, they're trying to use him as the workhorse. If you're going to use him as the workhorse, my thing is this: take some of the mileage off of Seabiscuit's legs. You got to let your Clydesdale pull the wagon. You got to let him pull the wagon. At this point, take some of that punishment off of him, because you want him to be around for the postseason and not being nicked up. Because, hey man, it's a rough season. People are going to be trying to gun for him. People are going to try to get good shots off of him. But we know that that's not going to probably end up happening. But hey, it is what it is at this point. Now, the other thing that you have to equate for with this defense, and I'm going to get back to the defensive side. The defense is really keeping the offense in ball games. When we're having our 3 and outs, when we're not able to convert touchdowns, but we're able to get field goals, and we're in a situation where we're really trying to put points up. That right there is a sign of a great team. The offense is eventually going to get it cracking. And the reason I say that is because they're getting multiple opportunities. But eventually this offense has to help this defense out, because 3 points, that's not good. You keep getting into the red zone and you're not effective with getting in the end zone. That is a problem. So I put that on Zach Robinson at this point. You have to figure out how to become consistent when it comes to putting points on the board. And you also have to figure out what else you're going to be consistent with this football team, because there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, but it's not horrible, because we're 1-1. We're at 500 right now. Should be 2-0, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead, handle business on Sunday versus the Carolina Panthers, and get to 2-1. So I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm happy with the progress that I've seen with this team this year. We're starting to take leaps and bounds compared to last year. Now, the question is, can we be consistent? That is the word. I'm using that word not only for the Atlanta Falcons, but also for my Georgia Bulldogs too. Consistent. It's nice that you got great moments. It's nice that you look good in games here and there. It's nice that you can do that. The word is consistency. If you can be consistent in everything that you do, that's going to equate to not just wins. That's also going to equate to long-term winning. And that is something that you need. And if you look at it, even in life, I'm going to throw this out here. Anything that you do in life, you've got to be consistent. You want to keep your job, you got to show up every day. You got to do ebbs and flows to the job to get things done, to make sure that the job is complete. Consistency. That is the word. Now, If you can't be consistent, that is going to harm you in the near future. That will harm you in the near future. But if you can be consistent in what you're doing, and mistakes are going to be made along the way, but if you can be consistent in the little things and making sure everything is accounted for, you don't have to worry about too many mistakes that you can control. So we just got to get better at third down conversions offensively. We got to continue to get off the field on third down, which we've been doing. The other thing that we've got to do, ladies and gentlemen, is this. We have to put ourselves in a position to where our defense does not get worn out. We have to control drives like we did this week. You keep that defense fresh, it's going to be a problem. Now, it sucks that A.J. Terrell is out with a hamstring injury, but we got to give our credit to D. Alford. D. Alford pretty much stepped in and he handled the job. He did his job. Now, we've got to have consistency with D. Alford at this position for a while until AJ gets back. Now, the other thing that I saw that was consistent was Parker Romo, the kicker. 5 field goals, 5 for 5, and he didn't miss an extra point either. So when you look at Parker Romo has to do it again. It's nice. We got to see the booming leg. He can hit it from 50 out, but can he do it when the game is on the line? It's easy to do things when you're up. It's easy to do things when everything is going right. It's easy to do things when we're all in a great position to do some stuff. It's easy to do it when everything is good. But can you do it when things are bad? Can you pull this team out of the depths of defeat if the game is on the line? Do you have ice water in your veins? Can you concentrate? Can you focus? He's not on the 53-man roster yet, according to Torrey McElhenney. He's still on the practice squad, but he was activated. Now, here's the question. Does he play this week, or is it Cool's turn? Are we having an open kicking contest? Because at this point, I don't want to take that chance. I need us in this game, keep Parker Romo in there. We need a division win so we can keep pace with the Tampa Bay Bucks at this point, because we're behind the 8 ball being 0-1 in the division. Now, we have to make sure that we take care of business. We have to take care of business, ladies and gentlemen, this week. This is a division game. It's against a rival. Carolina looks awful. They look awful. However, just know that they're going to play us tough. Just because of who we are. They get up for us. You get guys getting off the training table, getting up for us. They have players that are going to be injured right now. They got players that are hurt. They're also having issues with Xavier Legette at this point. I'm okay with that. The Hunter Renfrow story pretty much is kind of like a heavy boulder falling through a wet paper towel. It's just sinking. Now, the other thing that you have to account for at this point is, can the offense find its niche and have a good day? Can we get the passing game rolling this Sunday? Can we get it rolling? Can we get it going? Can Michael Penix start having time in the pocket to throw? Because everybody wants to see the big arm. Everybody wants to see what he can do. We already know that he can throw it. We already know that he can have that. But again, the offensive line has to give him time. The offensive line has to put him in positions to not only win, put him in position to succeed and really give us another threat and take the pressure off of our running game, because the running game is going to be there. We're going to have a running game, but you want to take some of those carries off of those guys. You want to be able to use your wide receivers to stretch the field to make that defense not only be honest, but you also want them to be afraid, because, again, Darnell Mooney is back. Drake London, he's going to get his form. He's struggling right now, but we already know what Drake can do when he has the ball in his hand. Now, the other thing that we have to do, we got to get Ray McCloud going as well. We already got Pitts semi going, but I think we need to start using him in the red zone more if we're going to pass in the red zone. We have a basketball team on this offense. We have basketball players at receiver. All of them, and the tight end, all of them are over 6 feet. You've got to exploit mismatches within the red zone, and you have to be able to put up points. And Penix, I think Penix is good enough. He's got touch. He's got so many things that he can bring to the table to where a defense has to respect him in the red zone. Because again, if it's not, how can I put it? If you don't equate for his legs, he'll run on you. He's not the fastest. He's quick. He's not Michael Vick fast, but he's quick enough to get out of dodge and pick up the yardage. Now, Penix also has to understand when to run, when not to run. That's going to be something that comes over time. And the other thing is, we can't have him taking a lot of shots because he got hit a few times in the Minnesota game, and it wasn't gentle either. You don't want him taking too many big shots, and you don't need him to be added to the list of quarterbacks that have gone down. So I challenge my offensive line this week to protect Michael Penix Jr. and keep him upright and keep him from being touched. That's the challenge this week. Now, the other thing that you have to account for outside of Michael Penix Jr., we got to account for special teams. Bradley Pinion is still a weapon, even though he's getting a little long in the tooth. He's still a weapon. I say I would bring in Brett Thorson from Georgia, or bring in, it's a punter from Iowa. I can't think of his name. They're averaging over 40, 50, 45 yards a punt. And those are guys that you want to look at, because eventually Thorson's going to get old, and you need to have somebody that's going to replace him, just like you got Coop. Now, the thing that pissed me off about Pinion last week, and the reason I'm saying it is, Pinion didn't want no parts of that Tampa Bay return man last week. And if you're going to be a punter and you're going to be in special teams, you can't put yourself in a position to where you're not going to give effort on special teams. You're practically a football player. You're not just a kicker. You're actually a football player. And you have to put yourself in a spot to where you can help your team grow and help your team get better. That is what you must do. Now, the other thing that I'll say is this. Our coverage team looked good. Kickoff coverage, punt coverage, it looked good. Now, the one thing I'd like to see a little bit better with our return game, I want to see a little bit better blocking. We got to see if guys really want it, because when you block, it's pretty much like defense. It's not meant for cowards. If you're not willing to get your nose dirty, your fingers broken, your nose broken, and put your body on the line, you don't need to be in special teams, because you're nothing but an expendable on special teams. That's really what you are. Now, we got some starters on special teams. I get it, but those are not the guys I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guys who aren't playing, that they're staying on the team because they're special teams aces. We got to make some better plays. Kadero Hodge, I'm calling you out. You know I love you because you're an HBCU guy. You have to perform at a top tier level. You made the Pro Bowl last year. Do not let your ego get inflated at this point. Don't. At this point, I need you to start being the player that you once were last year. You were hungry. Get back to it. Because I seen you make a couple of plays, but you need to be an alpha dog on this unit. That's your unit. This is how you're remaining on this team. You've made some good plays as a receiver, but you've also had the case of the dropsies. You've had some issues. Need you to fix that, because again, you definitely are a game breaker in special teams, and we need that this year, because again, the third phase of the game, as everybody saw, it cost us a ball game this year. But in this situation, I think Kadero Hodge could still be an ace for us this year on special teams. Mike Ford, you've been balling on that special teams, man. I see you big time over there, making tackles, getting downfield, running through blocks. You're playing like a man possessed, and I can respect it, sir. Definitely can respect it. The effort is there, and he's one of those ones who is not just fighting for his job. He's putting himself in a situation to where he's balling. Now, outside of the defense, I want to talk a little bit about Zach Robinson finally. Zach Robinson, You got to start using play action a little bit more in this offense. And I'm putting this up here. Shout out to my guy Nando who's in the building, and also Dirty Bird Bill. I see you. You've got to start using red zone in the red zone a little bit more play action, and you got to start putting guys in a situation to where they can score. This is what I mean when I say. This is what I mean when I say guys are in a spot to where they have opportunities to spread the wealth, to be a great team all the way around. I don't think it's going to be a single individual for this team that's going to be the catalyst. I know, Zach, you want to make Bijan just Christian McCaffrey. You want to make this man a star because of what he does. But here's the thing. You got to use all of the talent on this offense. You've got to start getting Penix under center a little bit more. You got to start having your fullback in the backfield a little bit more. As you saw, it was a difference against Minnesota. We're in a good spot. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying we have things we need to work on. And it's okay. We all have things that we need to work on. It's just like life. You're not perfect. You're going to always work to become perfect. If you're not working to become perfect, then you'll never achieve greatness. Because here's the thing, no one's ever going to achieve perfection. And if you get close to it, that means that you flirt with greatness. That means that you get a peck on the cheek from greatness. And my thing is, I think with the talent that we have, we deserve to flirt with greatness. We deserve to kiss that Lombardi trophy one day. So I'll say this. If we're struggling, if we're struggling with pass blocking, that's a problem. And here's the thing that I never thought I would actually say, ladies and gentlemen. We never thought that Jake Matthews would be struggling with pass blocking. Nate Bergeron was struggling with pass blocking. The person that we worried the most about was Elijah Wilkinson. So far, he's had 4 penalties on him this year, and that's for false starts. I can respect the effort. He has not given up any sacks. He's solid in the run game. Sadly, the veterans are the ones that's struggling right now. That right there has to tighten up. It has to tighten up. And if we're going to be able to throw the football, if we're going to be able to have clock control, all I'm saying is we've got to do better on that left side. You think it was the right side that we were struggling with. It's the left side that we've had problems with, where the pressure's been coming, and also in the middle. Ryan Nizel has been getting worked in the middle too. So again, we have to get better at being able to neutralize the pressure, because you think it was going to be the right side, and surprisingly it's not. The right side has actually gotten better. I got to give kudos to that right side of that offensive line. You know, Elijah Wilkinson is going to make it real hard, you know what I mean, for him not to be in that starting lineup when McGarry comes back next year. If he keeps playing like he's playing right now, then Raheem Morris has got a choice to make. That's all I'm saying. What's going on, Big John? Welcome to Bumper to Bumper. Yeah, you could put Kyle Pitts in the Wildcat and let him run some plays or whatnot, but the question is this. Would you trust that? A guy that I would put in the Wildcat would be Darnell Mooney, because Mooney also was an athlete at Tulane, and he's also got plays to where he was actually throwing the ball like a quarterback. And I think he had some plays in high school too where he could actually throw the football. Drake can throw the ball too. So Pitts actually can throw, but I would rather him be the guy that I'm throwing to, because you have size and a height advantage over these corners. So when you look at this team offensively, we never thought the left side would be the side that was weak, because again, Jake Matthews is old faithful, old reliable. That is the guy that definitely has stability, availability. But you know what? Maybe he might be just going through a tough spell at this point. You never know. Everybody has their struggles. Now, what has to happen is when Jack Nielsen gets healthy, we need to start getting him some reps too, because those are going to be valuable. Those are going to be valuable reps. And when you look at the reps that he's going to get, this increases the depth. Right now, if the left side is still struggling, here's my thing. You still have to find a way to get this thing working. Even if you got to put Jack in there once he's healthy. Because Jack isn't bad. But maybe you might want to sit the veteran for a minute. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes you need to refocus. Sometimes you need to sit down. Sometimes it helps. Unfortunately, they're not going to do it because of how he's paid and how everything is set up. But it's okay. Just my thoughts, just a suggestion. Y'all don't have to crucify me today, but if you do, I'm okay with it. But I just look at things from a perspective of not just being realism, but I just see the potential of this team, and this team has a potential to be a playoff team. I said it in the offseason. Falcons going to the playoffs. We just can't shoot ourselves in the foot. Not only do we have the talent to get to the playoffs, we're in a situation to where we really can not only make noise, but we can really have people to know the respect factor for the Falcons at this point. It would be a respect factor. Right now, we're earning respect. Until we start really winning consistently, we're never going to get respect from people. Okay, we proved the media wrong. Okay, that's cool. Every blind squirrel finds a nut, and every broken clock can be right twice a day. We need to be right all the time. That's my whole spiel with that. Need to be right all the time. Now, respect to Coach Morris for actually taking the bull by the horns and really putting us in a position to where he showed this team that taking, he doesn't mind sitting Young Wei Koo. And I respect him for that because he would have lost this team, period. He would have lost this team, period. Now, here's something else I want to point out real quick. The other thing, we have to continue to just figure out how this team consistently can get better with doing little things. What little things can we do? We got guys that are getting reps. Is the competition going to help? Are we going to be able to get better strength and conditioning? I'm just speaking on little things because, losing AJ is a big blow early, but hopefully it's just a tissue injury and it's nothing major. But if it is, you got to have the next man to step up. Got to have the next man to step up. And the other thing that's killed us the past couple of years is strength and conditioning. And I'm looking at my rehab process. I'm looking at my dietitians. I'm looking at all of this stuff. These are the little things that no one wants to talk about. These are the things that everybody is sitting back looking like, well, damn, can we actually get everything right from top to bottom? We have the facilities now. We have a lot of the things that are set. Now can we get the other little things right that can help carry us along the way? Can we get the training? Can we get a better training staff? Can we get a better dietitian? There's so many things that you have to equate for to win a championship or even become a consistent playoff team. You have to have the little things. And that is something that I'm looking at. Most fans aren't going to look at it like that. They're just going to look at the X's and O's. I look at everything. And I also got to give a shout out to the fans. To the fans that have been showing up to the Falcon games on the road, to the Falcon fans that have been at home rocking with them. And again, you got Falcon fans across the nation who support this team and spend money on streaming services and so many things when they're not even in the region just to support this team. So we always talk about the team, but I want to take time to shout out the fans, because without us, this team doesn't exist. Without us, you know what? It is what it is. I might talk trash about certain our fan base, and I say we whine and cry like Steve White said it years ago when he covered it and when he came into the BirdCage, but it's okay. I can do that, but nobody else can. He can do it because he covered the team, and he was very fair with his criticism, and he's straight down the line, straight shooter. He was fair. Now, anybody else that want to talk about the Falcons, then I take problem with that. Unless you're talking fact. It's kind of like the family members, as you say. I can talk about my brother, but you can't talk about my brother. Or I can talk about my sister. You can't talk about my sister. That's just how it is. Some Falcon fans I might not like, might not care too much for. But because you rock that Falcon logo, hey, we family. Whether you like it or not, we are always gonna be tied to each other. And it is what it is. So shout out to everybody that supports this team. Thank you for those who support the BirdCage LLC. And I appreciate that. And so does the magnificent BirdCage crew, because without you guys, we wouldn't have this channel. So I believe they're going to give us something to cheer about, and I really feel as if this team could possibly be a championship team. I'm not saying we're going to win it this year. Maybe we get hot and we make some noise, but I got a feeling that we could possibly win a championship within the next couple of years. I'm not going to put any expectations on these boys. They got to get together. They got to start figuring things out before we start saying it, because we're not clicking on all cylinders. And if we're able to win ball games and we're not clicking on all cylinders, God knows what the hell we're going to be like when we start winning ball games and we start clicking on all cylinders. We just have to put ourselves in a position mentally to understand that we're going to have ups and downs with a young team. This is a very young football team, and it's just what it is. But again, I want to thank you guys for tapping in with the bumper to bumper this morning. I'm sorry I was a little late with it. Told you I had to take the kiddo to school this morning. You know how it goes and whatnot. Got to make sure that the kids get their education and get right, so they don't get left by society. So shout out to all the teachers that's out here that are Falcon fans right now, all the educators. Thank you for what you do, because without you guys, our kids would be lost. So you guys have a thankless job, and most people don't give y'all credit. Most people just come in crying and complaining and whatnot. But thank you for what you do out here. So with that being said, we love y'all. We're going to catch you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for the BirdCage LLC. Join myself and the magnificent BirdCage crew as we tap into the Falcons matchup for week 2 with the Carolina Panthers. So this has been another edition of Bumper to Bumper. You either get right or you get left. Get to that money on, y'all. Much love. Ghost.